What if I could only keep 10 palettes? That hurts my heart. Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Andi, and I'm really happy that you're here. My friend Ash from Makeup and Chaos and I are doing a collab today. We are pretending it's just pretend. It's not real. What if we could only keep 10 palettes? I have seen this tag before on some other channels and thought it sounded fun. So when Ash and I were talking about our July collab, what were we going to do? I was like, let's do a tag. Let's do this. And we decided that it was going to give us both a lot of anxiety. But it's just pretend. We're not really only keeping 10 palettes. I will have Ash linked in the description box below, a link to their channel, also a link to their collab video. So let's go ahead and get started, won't you? Oh, this was hard. There were 5 that were no-brainers. I knew for a fact that those five I would keep. If I could only keep 5, I would keep those. But it's 10. So then I had to really do I had to go into my heart. And I had to say, oh, what's going to hurt the most for me to get rid of? So the very first one, and these are in no particular order at all, but I did think of this first, and that is the Stone Cold Fox palette from Colourpop. This is my favorite palette. It is my favorite palette of all of my palettes. Cool neutral palette. It's dirty. It's filthy. I don't care. I don't care. I love it. I use it all the time. I believe I have hit pan in at least one, and I'm close to hitting pan in a couple more. So yes, this is my ride or die palette. The first big palette that I bought myself. And so it's a little bit nostalgia, a little bit in the feels, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm keeping this. The second one is also for sentimental reasons, but also the fact that I really like it. And that is the Morphe 350 palette. This palette, before I had any big palettes, my daughter bought me this for, it was either my birthday or Christmas, and I can't remember. But it is a really pretty warm neutral palette. There actually are a couple of cool neutrals over here, but I mostly use it for the warm neutrals. And it is a very, very pretty palette. And the formula is very nice. And my daughter bought it for me. So yeah, I'm keeping that one. No question about that. The third one is the Ace Beauté Nostalgia palette. And I'm a little bit nostalgic about the Nostalgia palette because this was my first colorful palette. I love this palette. This was my first Ace Beauté palette and my first colorful palette. Where's the thing? It does have a mirror. And this is the perfect palette for sunrise, sunset looks. These bright oranges and just really warm, bright colors for a summer look. You could also do a fall look with this. You could do a spring look with this. You could do a winter look with it if you, you could. But this was my first colorful palette. This is the first palette I ever bought with color. And I bought this shortly after Ash and I kind of became friends. I saw how much they loved Ace Beauté, and this was our first collab, is using this palette. So it's a little bit nostalgia, a little bit sentimental, but also because it's just a freaking amazing palette, and I love the color story. The next palette is the Haunted Europe palette. And there are several reasons for this palette also. This was a gift from Ash for my birthday, and it about knocked me off my socks. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that packaging. It's awesome. Also, it's Nomad. Nomad has amazing formulas. Amazing formulas. And it's very unique to anything else I have in my collection. You can go really grungy with this, but you could also go a little, light and airy with some of these bright shimmers. It's very versatile. There's color, there's neutrals. It's just a really great all-around palette, and I love it so much. I love this palette. I love Nomad. And because I love Nomad, My next palette is also Nomad, and that is the Nomad Paradise Islands palette. And I chose this because of the freaking color story, guys. The color story is just stunning. And it is the beach. You know, not really the beach, it's like, it's the Caribbean. To me, it's the Caribbean. I'm trying to remember where she was. I can't remember what her, and I can't read that tiny writing, but her inspiration was, it wasn't Bora Bora, but it was something like that. Malta, I can't remember. But look at that color story. It is beautiful. It is the ocean. It is summer, which is my favorite season. And I freaking love this palette so much. And I don't have anything else like it. I have some of those blues, some of those greens in other palettes. I have those pinks in another Nomad palette, but these are all together in one place. And I love it. The next palette that I chose is the Melt Amor y Mariposa. And oh, first of all, can we just talk about that artwork on the front? It's beautiful. But this palette is stunning. It's freaking stunning. And the formula is ridiculous. I used this in a Sultry Summer Night Date Night collab with Lori Latimer, and I just freaking loved it so much. Those shimmers are ridiculous. The mattes are very pigmented. They're very smooth. They're not dry. There was very little fallout. It was just, oh, it was perfection. It's perfection. The next one is from BH, and it is the Naughty palette. Now, you guys didn't even know that I bought this palette because I have been belly aching and crying for the last year because I missed out on the Naughty palette. Well, guess what, guys? I found it. I found it on Poshmark or Mercari. I found it on Mercari. And because I have coveted this palette for damn near 2 years, I had to buy it. It's really reflective. I had to. I looked it up on Mercari. I saw that it was brand new. I got it for $18. I mean, okay. I don't usually buy palettes for one shade, but look at that shade. Look at that. Plum pudding. Oh my gosh. Is it plum pudding? Oh, no. Candied fruit. Candied fruit. And I love this palette. I love it. I love it. I coveted it for so long. So long, I can't even tell you. Kicked myself for not buying it when it was out. I just fretted about it forever. And then I found it. So I'm keeping this one. This one's staying in my collection. Staying. The next one is actually a Revolution product. And you're like, what? Yeah. Revolution Pro. And it is the Marilyn Monroe palette. Stunning packaging. Oh my gosh. Love the packaging. I have used this on a palette collection bingo. It is super reflective, guys. Because it's fancy. It's very glam and fancy. And it is a neutral color story, but it does have some pops of color and some shimmers. And let me tell you what, this formula is ridiculous. For such an inexpensive palette, I think I paid $22 for it. I did get it on sale, but I think I paid $22 for it. And they have another one that it's not Marilyn Monroe. I can't remember. It's called something Crystal, and a little bit different packaging, but you can tell by looking at it, it's the same formula. And Instagram shows it to me all the time. And I get really mad. I need to just buy it. But yes, you have beautiful shimmers, beautiful satins. You have a glitter in there. I haven't used the glitter. A couple glitters. I haven't used the glitter. I don't believe I have. But this shimmer is fantastic. That one right there. It's just such a beautiful palette. And it's very... I think you could create a really awesome old Hollywood glam type of look with this. Yeah. Okay, we have 2 left. 2 palettes left. The first one is Blend Bunny, and it is the Dollhouse palette. Now, if you have been with me any length of time, you know that I love neutrals. I freaking love neutrals. I am embracing color more and more and more. But neutrals that's where my heart is. And these are some beautiful neutrals. The Blend Bunny formula, there's nothing like it. I have not found any other, I have not used any other palette, not found because I haven't looked, but I haven't used any other palette that has the formula. There is no kick up in the pan. There is no fallout. They are highly pigmented. If I could like say one negative thing about Blend Bunny, and it's not really even negative, is that the shimmers have to be applied with your finger. They have to be. They are finger friendly. They are not brush friendly. I've never tried to use, someone told me to try to use a sponge applicator, and I haven't done that yet, but I use my finger, and you guys, it shakes me. I'm shook. I'm shook. Okay, very last one, number 10. The very last palette that I would keep in my collection, if I could only choose 10, is the Blend Bunny Surge palette. Oh my gosh. This palette is everything. It is everything. I used this also in a palette collection bingo, and I was scared. I was so afraid to use this. I'm like, I'm going to jack this up. And let me tell you what, it was effortless. Effortless. The shades went where you put them. Again, no kick up, no fallout. The shimmers are ridiculous. And it has everything. It has these dark, deep shades. It has some mattes. It has neons. It has pastels. And it has this line of shimmers right here. And let me tell you what, these 2 right here are my favorite. My favorite. I'm really looking forward to this October, because I'm going to do a shade with just these greens, maybe this black. Yes, I've seen a lot of people do greens with this palette. I could almost say that this is my favorite palette, but it's not. But it's up there. It's top 5. It's top 5, y'all. It's amazing. And I was very fortunate to get this palette, the Dollhouse palette, and the Blends, Blend Bunny Blends palette in my Busy Beauty box for my birthday. So yes, that was so much fun. Little bit anxiety riddled when I was doing it, because I'm like, oh, I can only keep 5, because I already had 5 picked out. I'm like, I can only keep 5 more. What am I gonna do? So it's fun. I don't know. It's fun. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Don't forget to go over and check out Ash's video. I am very, very curious to see what they choose as their top palettes. I feel like I know 3 of them. So we'll see if I'm right. Thanks you guys so much for joining us today. I really appreciate you being here. Until our next adventure, everyone have a great day, and we'll see you later.